Philippians chapter 2, verse 12, and we'll be reading down to verse 18 today. Dear friends, you always followed my instructions when I was with you, and now that I'm away, it's even more important. Work hard to show the results of your salvation, obeying God with deep reverence and fear. For God is working in you, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases Him. Ever since I was younger, I've had this really unfortunate tendency to compare myself to others. I would always, especially when I became a Christian, I would always see other Christians and think, flip me, they just have the most amazing faith. They're so intelligent, they're so wise, they do such incredible things, and they love people so well. And then I'd look at myself and think, flip me, I'm just constantly making mistakes. I'm not motivated, I'm not inspired, I'm not disciplined enough. And I think a lot of Christians feel this pressure as well. They feel this expectation to be able to just perfectly pray and read the Bible every single day and be able to love people constantly and consistently and to just do incredible things. And this expectation can be such a weight on our shoulders as Christians, because we can almost just use it to beat ourselves up for what we're actually not able to do. But what I love about those verses that I just read is Paul sees that and flips it on its head and says, no, Joe, you've got this all mixed up. Those actions and that discipline and that all that love that people have, that always comes from faith. All that outworking comes from a love of God first. Let me read the verses again. He says, work hard to show the results of your salvation. For God is working in you. God is giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases Him. All those impressive things that we see in other Christians, the amazing motivation, inspiration, discipline, that comes as a gift from God. That is a result of their salvation first. I'm sure you're all thinking of a Christian that you just really admire or you've been really inspired by, and I bet if you go up to them and say, how do you keep going? Where do you get all these ideas of all these things you do? How are you loving people so well? They'll all say, because of what Jesus did for me. They'll say, because of my love for the kingdom of heaven. It'll always come out of this love of God first. And to be blunt, if they don't say that and they say something about themselves, they're probably a leader that you shouldn't be following. Because I think all of the most incredible faiths come from a love of God first. It is an adoration and an awe of what Jesus did for us that gives us the gift of the discipline and the excitement and the ability to do incredible things. It's the exact same for a subject in school. For those subjects that just never clicked, I hated maths. I can never figure out the simplicity of the most simple equations or formulas. And the idea of doing homework or even studying maths was such a drag. It was always going to be an absolute mission for me to try trudge through that. But the second we got to English and we were reading a story that I loved, I was reading chapters ahead without even doubting myself once. I would happily go and research more because once I found that subject that I really loved, the idea of doing some extra work for that subject was dead easy. And just like faith, if you've kind of forgotten about Jesus, if you haven't spent time recently just worshiping God or maybe reading about His life, the idea of trying to read the Bible every day or try to pray or try to remember to love your family and love those around, that's hard. Because where are you going to get that inspiration from? Where are you going to get that drive from? But personally, what I've found is when you kind of switch your focus and say, today I want to fall in love with God. Today I want to fall in love in the Holy Spirit that's working within me. Today I just want to worship Jesus and learn about the life he lived. From that, I would get out of nowhere this gift from God, an inspiration and a passion and a creativity within me. I just had to go and do things. I had to go out and work and love and serve people. It was just this automatic response. I had no choice. The more I fell in love with God and what he's doing and what he has done, getting up and going, having the motivation, the desire and the power to do what pleases him, that was easy. That came like that. We all get inspired and we all fall in love with things differently. Maybe you're more logical and you need to understand something more. So go listen to some great teachers. Reveal the mysteries of God. And maybe you need to read more books. Maybe you need to engage in more studies. Maybe you're more creative and you actually need to engage with some more artsy things. Maybe you need to read some poetry about God. Maybe you need to listen to some music about God. Maybe you need to find a great preacher who just sucks you up into this amazing story about God. Whatever way you can fall in love with heaven, go do that. Let that be your first and foremost desire and focus, to just see what the Spirit's doing in you and to fall in love with the life of Jesus Christ. From that excitement, from that awe and love, the desire and the power to do great things, the ability to obey God with deep reverence and fear, that comes easily. Paul goes on to write, do everything without complaining and arguing, so that no one can criticize you. Live clean, innocent lives as children of God, shining like bright lights in a world full of crooked and perverse people. Hold firmly to the word of life. Then, on the day of Christ's return, I will be proud that I did not run the race in vain and that my work was not useless. Instead, I will rejoice even if I lose my life, pouring it out like a liquid offering to God, just like your faithful service is an offering to God too. And I want all of you to share that joy. Yes, you should rejoice, and I will share your joy too. As we fall in love with our salvation, what Jesus did, as we fall in love with God and the kingdom of heaven, as we fall in love with the Holy Spirit within us, and as we get more excited and passionate and we get a desire and the power to do good things, we will begin to live clean and innocent lives as children of God. We'll begin to shine like bright lights in a dark, broken world. We will live these incredible lives that people will see and look at and say, I want to share in that joy. I want to share in the rejoicing that they are doing. I want to take part in what they're taking part in. Love God first, and doing what will please him will come easy to you. Love God first. God bless, guys. Tomorrow I'll see you. And I'll continue through chapter 2. And please God, we'll continue to have incredible things revealed to us through this amazing letter. Stay safe, guys. He says, It's not about I've just lost my stumble